Welcome to On-Demand Instructions video on Writing Standard 8. We will discuss gathering and using information. We will be covering the core standards in writing, gather relevant information from multiple authoritative print and digital sources, using advanced searches effectively, assess the usefulness of each source in answering the research question, integrate information into the text selectively to maintain the flow of ideas, avoiding plagiarism, and following a standard format for citation. This session's goals are to gather information, assess the usefulness of the source, and integrate the information into the text. Let's start with what you might already know about this subject by answering these questions. What is an authoritative print and digital source? What is an advanced search? How do you use an advanced search effectively? What is plagiarism? Information is important, but it is even more important that you know that the information you have is valid, reliable, and authoritative, regardless of if it comes from a book or the internet. When information is filtered, reviewed, authenticated, and evaluated, readers come to trust the source. When the information is not filtered, the reader must evaluate the information for themselves. There are 3 different ways in which information gets filtered. If it is written and/or issued by an authoritative source. Authoritative sources include the federal government or a reliable organization. Then it is generally accepted as having validity. If it is authenticated as part of an editorial or peer review process by a publisher, it is considered valid. And last, if it is evaluated by experts, reviewers, or subject specialists, or librarians, as part of collection development, it is generally accepted as authoritative. An advanced internet search is a search using keywords and defined criteria to find entries matching those keywords and criteria in your lists. An advanced search contains such criteria as lists, dates, location, and privacy. By using an advanced search, you can narrow the entries you get back substantially. Without using the advanced search, the majority of the data you get back may be useless to you. Using an advanced search, you can bracket your return entries and narrow down your topic. If you are going to write a good paper, you will need reliable sources. There are several ways you can evaluate each of your sources for reliability. Is the source closely related to your question? Don't go to a website about cars if you're looking for statistics on speeding tickets. Is the author an expert on this subject? What is the author's stance on this subject, and does this influence his or her viewpoint? Is the information presented biased in any way? If the publisher is a corporation, government agency, or interest group, is the information slanted in their interest? Recently published sources can be more useful than older ones. However, in some fields, the older works may be considered more authoritative. General sources such as popular magazines may be easy to read and helpful, but you may need the authority of more specialized sources as you develop your topic. On the other hand, extremely specialized works may be too hard to understand. Any information you find will need to be put into the text in a way that does not interrupt the flow. Plotting out and outlining what the paper should have in it will help with this. Plagiarism is the act of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing it off as your own. This can be done intentionally or unintentionally. Ways to avoid this are to develop a topic based on what has already been said or written, but write something new and original. Rely on experts and authorities' opinions, but improve on or disagree with those same opinions. Give credit to previous researches, but make your own contribution. Build on what you read and hear, but use your own words and voice. A citation is a reference to a source of an idea, information, or image. A citation usually includes enough identifying information, like the author, title, and publication, for a reader to be able to access the original source. Whenever you use someone else's ideas, information, or images, you need to properly cite the source. This will give credit to the author or creator, but will also lend credibility to your work. The standard format for citation will vary depending on the class or reason for writing. The most commonly used citation standard in schools is Modern Language Association, or MLA. The Chicago Manual of Style is mainly used in publishing, and the American Psychological Association, or APA, is used to cite sources in the social sciences. These all have different rules for citing sources, so it's important to figure out which one you should be using for your project. A student should know and use this information to avoid running into problems, especially plagiarism. Teachers, when assigning research projects, will expect them to come back professionally written and with sources cited. The more information you have on how to provide what the teacher wants, the better you will do. This is what the Google Advanced Search page looks like. You can see all the different fields to fill in that can help you narrow your search. This is an example of work cited in the MLA format. For more information on MLA formatting, please visit the website at the bottom of the page. Let's do an activity to further enhance your skills. Do a general Google search on the subject of houseflies. Then do an advanced Google search on houseflies, filling in the information as you see fit. Compare the information that you pulled up. Take note of which gave you the most information that you could use. Why is it important to know this? If you just regurgitate your sources onto a page and turn it in or publish it, you may run into problems. Organizing the data and making sure it comes from accredited sources will help the final product. How can I make sure that my sources are accredited or accurate? Use the information you learned here to help you ensure that your sources are good. Check the relevance, authors and publishers' credentials, the date of publication, and the level of specialization before using any source. As a student, you're expected to be able to gather information and make sure it's useful and accurate. Use an advanced search feature to help you get that information, integrate information into the text, avoid plagiarism, and correctly cite a source. We've come to the end of our session. We have discussed authoritative print and digital sources, filtering information, advanced searches, using an advanced search effectively, plagiarism and how to avoid it. To learn more, go to these websites for additional information. Return to www.ondemandinstruction.com for more instructional videos, podcasts, and materials. We update the site weekly.